Hello there everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. Welcome to a video featuring Gran Turismo 7's Spec 3 update, which released on the 4th of December 2025. The biggest update in Gran Turismo 7's history, with 2 new tracks, 8 new cars and lots of other various adjustments and content, along with the first DLC in GT7's history as well. At £25, the Power Pack has bought 50 new single player races. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail towards the end. It'll probably be featured in a separate video. But let's go through what Spec 3 has meant to Gran Turismo 7 before we get on to the main subject of this video, which you've probably alluded to from the thumbnail. But Spec 3 comes with 2 brand new tracks to the game, 2 brand new tracks to the Gran Turismo 7 world as well, with Circuit Gilles Villeneuve from Montreal in Canada and the Yas Marina Autodrome from Abu Dhabi. 2 tracks that are modelled to the absolute highest of standards. Both of them look absolutely phenomenal. Track models on another level compared to any other game as far as I'm concerned, and yes, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into doing some races around both these tracks in sport mode, probably next week and over the next couple of weeks. I'm sure they will feature fairly heavily. Next up we have the 8 new cars added to the game. The highlight for me and for a lot of people, I think certainly that watch this channel, will be the addition of the Ferrari 296 GT3 car. But yeah, I think it's always wise to remember that Gran Turismo is a kart game that features racing and driving and photography and all sorts of other things kart related. So whilst you might not be interested in all the cars that get released in this update, there is a little bit of something there for everyone. And as I said, whilst I'm most focused on sport mode and race cars, Gran Turismo has a very wide encompassing audience and people who play the game. Next up, a really good addition to Gran Turismo 7 with Spec 3 update is some of the updates to the lobby settings that allow you to kind of be a little bit more, gives you a little bit more control over the parameters of what cars you want people driving. So for somebody like myself who does lobbies occasionally, I kind of quite like to restrict what cars people can use. So a really good update to the lobbies in that regard. And they did mention in the patch notes that they had done something to the physics simulation model in terms of simulating grip. I can't remember exactly how they worded that. I really should have maybe had that in front of me before we started doing the commentary here, but they have changed something in regards to the physics or the force feedback. You can check the patch notes. I'll maybe put it up on the screen here if you want to sort of see exactly what it says. But yeah, whatever they've changed has definitely been a positive for me. I'm on a Logitech G Pro, so pretty high-end wheel to be fair, and I've always said that I believe it's probably the best wheel out there for Gran Turismo 7 because of what True Force does to the force feedback. It is really night and day, and that's not a saying I like using too much, but I think it's a saying that people use wrongly all the time. But really, the addition of True Force to Gran Turismo 7 is night and day, and I now know they've added Full Force to the Fanatec wheels, but whatever changes they have made is definitely now made the cars, as far as I'm concerned, as nice to drive as ever on Gran Turismo 7. I immediately felt it even before the servers went live. I jumped into a race in the Group 4 Porsche, the Cayman, around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and immediately I was like, wow, they've done something here. These cars actually, there's so much more feel on the front tyres. So whatever change they've made, a big positive for me. It might be subtle for some people, it might be very different for other people, but they've definitely changed something in regards to the way the cars drive, and it's very, very welcome indeed. I've also heard some people who are on controller have also mentioned that things seem to be better on that front as well. Not something I can confirm because I don't really drive on the controller, but I've kind of read a few comments in YouTube video comments or on Discord where people are sort of saying that something has changed for the better in terms of the controller. Hopefully that is the case, because I know it has been the source of a number of complaints. Spec 3 also brought a myriad of other kind of things in regards to single player seasonal events. We have the invitation changes as well, so everyone just gets them, which have finally allowed me to buy the Bugatti Veyron. We've got the engine changes, or engine swap changes as well. But I think the four main things was the tracks, the cars, the change to the force feedback, and the lobby change. So yeah, a really good update in terms of what they have brought, but there was one very glaring omission, and that is, certainly in my regards, as a sport mode player, it was very hard to not notice that basically Spec III has brought nothing to sport mode. And sure, maybe expecting something to be brought along. They did mention changes to online races, which turned out to be the changes to the lobby settings, but I don't think it was naive to expect that sport mode might get some kind of upgrade or change to the way they did things, or an additional race. I don't think it was naive to think that with Spec III, the biggest upgrade in Gran Turismo 7's history, that they would actually bring a change to one of the sort of more prominent modes in the game. A mode that has a very dedicated player base. There's still over 100,000 people at least log into sport mode week in, week out to do daily races. That's a lot of people. It's a decent chunk of the community, the sort of that are still playing, still turning up every week to play the game. And I was very disappointed, to be honest with you, that sport mode had no change. And it confirmed one thing to me though. It just basically confirmed one thing to me. We put a video out 6 months ago or something, I can't remember exactly when, basically saying that sport mode is not on PD's radar anymore, and that the next game will not feature sport mode as we know it. Still have some kind of multiplayer racing, I'm sure, but sport mode will be gone. The World Tour will be gone, and that's basically how I still feel. In fact, I would say Spec III, with its lack of sport mode content update or any kind of changes for sport mode, was another nail in that coffin. Now, I sincerely hope that I am completely wrong on this subject, that sport mode is dead to PD. I really do hope that there is some future for sport mode, that PD are going to do something spectacular with it or upgrade it in the future. It's going to be a big part of Gran Turismo 8, or even better, because it would mean it was a dedicated game with a dedicated team, Gran Turismo Sport 2. But all the signs just point to the opposite to me, so I can only kind of opinionise on what I'm seeing. But hopefully maybe in the future I will be completely wrong and I'm having to put a video out with a rebuttal and basically egg in my face and go, yep, hands up, I called that one completely wrong. But we shall see what the future brings, because I love Gran Turismo 7, I love sport mode. Sport mode's what brought me back into playing Gran Turismo again, and the way that sport mode was back on Gran Turismo Sport, there was just something about it that appealed to me so much. I've spoke about it in the past before, but yeah, even when I go and play other racing games or simulators, as people like to call them, I've played iRacing, I've played LMU, I've played ACC, Automobilista 2, Race Rooms, you name it, I've played it, and I like them all. I like parts of them all, but none of them has ever just appealed to me in the same way as Gran Turismo Sport did when it came to competitive online racing. Something about what PD achieved with GT Sport, and should have easily have been able to achieve in Gran Turismo 7, has just never been replicated in another game. And that's why I just have this hope that Gran Turismo PD can return sport mode back to its glory days, because honestly, Gran Turismo Sport in like 2019, 2020 was just peak online racing in my opinion. But yeah, I will leave you with that. Spec III is an amazing update for the content and what it brought to the game, but at the same time, it did feel like a nail in the coffin for sport mode. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.